Hi, welcome to Makerble. I'm going to show you how you use Makerble to track the impact of the campaigns that you're working on. So we're going to start by going to the sign-in page. The first thing to say about Makerble is that everybody on your team, all of your campaigners, has their own login. So whether you're an organization with 100,000 people on your mailing list who might have done different collectivism activities, signing petitions and that kind of thing, or a much smaller organization with a few people who are volunteers but you want them to start now doing campaigning actions, we're going to show you how you can use Makeable to track what they're doing and even encourage them to do more. So I'm going to sign in as Sarah, and once we log in, you'll see the main Makeable interface. So Makeable feels a lot like a social media platform. We did that so it felt very familiar. First of all, on the left-hand side, it shows the campaigns that you're part of, the campaigns that you're working on, so you're actively doing activity in these campaigns, but there can also be campaigns at the charity you support that you're just following, but not specifically working on. Then in the middle, we've got the newsfeed. So the newsfeed shows you the stories posted by people working on the same campaigns as you are. So here's a story by Katie, who's working on this campaign. Perhaps she's another volunteer in another part of the country. She's recruited 10 group members. Here's another story from Sarah. That's meant to be me, and this is like what she's achieved. So you've got this newsfeed of stories about what's going on. And then very powerfully on the right hand side, it shows you your itemized progress. So for you as a volunteer campaigner or even a professional full-time campaigner as a member of staff, what achievements you have personally done, be it letters written to MPs or meetings with MPs or meetings with councillors, all of the things that you've personally logged are saved here. So let's look at what a story looks like. If we go to this story by Sarah, written 5 days ago, then you'll see the format of stories. First of all, there's a little bit of a text section where you can add in plain text about what's going on, any anecdotes you want to remember. Then you can also tag in the different achievements that you have personally achieved. And we've got a badge for every kind of achievement there could be. You've also got a little gallery. So there's only one picture here, but you could attach pictures, videos, even files and attachments. Those can all be added here to the story. And it also has a Google Map integration. So it shows you the location of where that story was written from. So you can imagine if you're a national campaign or even a global campaign, you can see these pins for everywhere where people are writing these stories from. As we scroll down, it shows other stories written by different campaigners working on this campaign. And in the top right, you may have noticed there's ability for people to add comments. So they might want to ask questions. And when that happens, the author of the story gets a notification saying, Bill has asked a question about your story. Now, when you go to an individual project page, you'll find that all of these stats are arranged in an intelligent way that we call an interactive theory of change. So let's let that project page load. On Makeable, you can have a project page or a campaign page. It's the same thing for as many campaigns as you like. So we've got a simple cover image. As a member of staff who's an administrator of this campaign, I've got this handy project settings section where I can add new people to the team. So add additional campaigners, say from the Charities mailing list, to the team. I can edit the theory of change, which is what this is. So we'll go into a little bit more detail on that in just a second. As well as I can curate any stories. So that story that Sarah had written or other stories by other people on the campaign. As a member of staff, you can curate those in terms of maybe someone made a mistake. You can edit that and things like that. And you can also look at making other changes to settings as you need to. So this is the theory of change. And what happens here is that all of those different metrics and achievements that are recorded, Makeable intelligently arranges them for you into activities, participants, and then changes in attitude, behavior, and quality of life. And depending on how you use Makeable, you can get some really rich data about all of these. This can be as extensive or reductive as you like, and you can also see it just as a simple alphabetical list of the data that you've collected. And in some instances, you might also have got gender, age, ethnicity splits of perhaps the activity that's happening. And where that happens, you can see these pie charts that break down the data you've collected. So that's how the data kind of comes together on your campaign page, as well as showing you these numbers for the achievements achieved. It also gives you a good view of all of the stories. So every story that has been logged by a campaigner working on the campaign appears here in this timeline. On the right hand side, you've got participants, but these could be your campaigning targets. So let's say one of your campaigning targets is Prime Minister Theresa May. Then what Makerble will show you is for Theresa May, if we go to her page within the system, these are the stories that have been logged by campaigners working towards getting Theresa May to change a policy, or maybe they've been writing letters to her. So this is 3 letters that have been sent to Theresa May. She was tagged in that story. But whatever those achievements are, you can tag your different campaigning targets in them. And so what that means is that as a campaign manager at a charity, you can get a real-time view of all of the activity offline that your campaigners are doing towards the various campaigning targets that you're working towards. So they might be companies or people within companies, they might be newspapers, they might be individuals, they might be members of parliament, they might be clinical commissioning groups. Whatever they are, you can have them all listed here. You can see the progress that's being achieved for them at either an organisation-wide level, or you can zoom into particular campaigns or even filter by date to get a more forensic view of the progress that's being achieved. Now, when it comes to creating stories, that's really easy. You've got this Make a Story button in the top right corner, and when you click that, it enables you to create a story. So every campaigner can do this, and depending on which campaign they're working on, if I switch to this one, then the metrics that appear, the achievements that are available, are updated based on what you want to collect. So be it supermarket chains contacted, let's say I contacted one today, or let's say I had a meeting as well, like it was a really good day, then I can tag that in there. And let's say I want to actually select the supermarket that this is about. So we've got like Tom from Tesco, let's say it was him. Then I can tag that in here, as well as I can put in the location of where this happened. So let's say it happened in Stockwell. We can just go with the town, and I can put in some additional notes if I wanted, as well as easily attach pictures, videos, and other kinds of media, maybe even like a recording of the meeting if that was appropriate. And there you go, it generates a story. We've got that geolocated map, we've got the metrics that have been recorded. It shows that it was me that wrote the story for this campaign for this charity, which in our case is our Showcase Environmental Charity. Now, every charity has an organisation overview, which you could also get to by going to the summary here. But what you get in this organisational overview is a wide view of everything that's being achieved on all the different campaigns that you're running. So you can see the total number of activities, participants, and types of change that you're initiating, as well as all of the stories from all of the different campaigners around the world that you've got being part of this campaign. And Makerble is very much about enabling people to do that kind of grassroots activism that can be quite difficult to steward. So it can be very simple things that people are doing, such as meetings with MPs, organising school assemblies, practical things that really move the dial on showing public interest and public support for the campaign that you're trying to move forward. You can filter the stories to see just like the pictures or any audio and documents. And you can also see how your different campaigners are performing, who's written the most stories. So if we were to look at another one of the campaigners and just go to their profile, so let's take Chloe, then on Chloe's profile, it shows, this is Chloe, what she's achieved so far, so 171 impacts. So that's looking at things like this on her profile, you can see a timeline of the stories that she has written, as well as other campaigners who she's following. On Makerble, we call them makers. The campaign she's part of, the organization that she's part of. And you can send her a message or you can follow her if you want to get updates about what she's doing. And so, in this way, it enables the relationship between campaigners to be horizontal. It means that a campaigner in one part of the country can message another one because they've seen in their newsfeed that they did something really great for the campaign. So, you might want to message them and find out how they did it. That's how Makeable works for campaigning. It's a very simple tool that's very familiar that you can get your campaigners to register on, and then you can add them to different campaigns, or they can add themselves to the campaigns they interest in. And then once you give them resources and instructions for how to do things, they can then start doing different actions, be it organizing events or running school assemblies or putting up posters. Log the progress that they're doing, and what we found is that in logging the progress that they're personally making, they feel much prouder of the difference they're making. With one of the charities, we've seen a doubling in the productivity of their volunteer ambassadors, their volunteer campaigners, because those campaigners have been able to see on Makeable what other campaigners are doing and feel motivated to do more. And it gives you a sense of instant gratification, because the moment you log another story with some progress, your progress bar moves along. So you can see the difference that you're making, even though you're just one small person, but you can see how you're affecting the theory of change for the whole organization. That's how you use Makeable as a campaigning organization. If you're interested in using it, follow the links at the bottom of this video. Go to makeable.com, sign up for your trial account, and then start using it. And we're here to help you change the world faster. Thanks for listening. I've been Matt. Take care.